Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I wanted to introduce you to my little softy tank. So this is it's about 60 liters or so. I think the name of the tank is a TMC Next Wave 60. And I'm running I think it's Noop Psych K7 Pro light on the tank. And I also got one of these nice polycarbonate lids made. So yeah, this is primarily set up as a softy tank, obviously, but it's also got some macroalgae, there's a bubble tip anemone in the middle there, and also some of these little Vietnamese rock flower anemones. So these are not quite as colourful as the ones from the Caribbean, but they stay very small, so about the size of a £2 coin, of an inch or so across. And under this white light, they don't look particularly colourful, but they have quite bright sort of fluorescent colours and some yellows, oranges, purples, and some really bright sort of raspberry pink in them as well, which is really nice. I used to have more here, but I lost a couple when the nutrients on this tank bottomed out, and so that's the only thing actually dosed on this aquarium is nitrate to keep those from going too low. So otherwise on this tank it's pretty much just softies, as I said. So we've got GSP in the middle, some Paulson Xenia, we've got these Fiji yellow levers, so these are the most recent addition to the tank, and they don't look super happy. They are a trickier coral to keep, and they've been pretty much impossible to find for years. And then recently I came across some in a LFS and grabbed them up, but hoping they're sort of starting to look a bit better. So hoping, I've read that you shouldn't move them too much. They don't like being moved, and they also prefer more flow and stuff, which I'll talk about in a minute. But let's see, hopefully they settle in. But one thing that's actually quite cool is they came on this rock here, which I've snapped off, and this actually has branching, I don't know if you can see it, branching coralline algae on it, which is really hard. I've never seen it before in the UK, but it grows like a SPS coral. It's not coming out very well on the camera, but it's, you know, that bright sort of purple pink coloration, so I'm hoping that will grow. Obviously green Cineraria here, then macroalgae, we've got some sort of red grape algae, some sort of I don't know what one this is, red leafy type, various sort of gorgonians here, obviously a toadstool, really nice blue macroalgae here, which contrasts nicely with the other corals. This gorgonia in the middle isn't doing super well. It was being completely taken over by the Xenia, so it was on this rock here, but I've moved it now to the middle there, hoping that it might improve. Got a green kidney tree at the back, really nice gorgonian here, this kind of long polyp gorgonian. I've got another one here as well. That one's a bit closed up at the moment, but yeah, that's a really nice fast growing coral. Another kind of green, I don't know whether it's a Cineraria or not, but another kind of green soft coral here. This one doesn't grow very fast, but it's really nice delicate sort of polyps. And then blue Symposium here in the middle, another toadstool, and I think that's all of the coral and the macroalgae. Fish wise, it's just my pair of clowns. So these guys I've had for a couple of, well, they were my first marine fish actually. I've had them about 4 years now. They breed relatively regularly. They used to be in the main tank downstairs, but they got really aggressive at one point. For, you know, after years of being pretty peaceful, they just suddenly became super aggressive. So I moved them to this tank, and they live in this Cadium macroalgae at the back here. There's also, you can see a peppermint shrimp in there. There's also a dwarf banded, what they call dwarf banded shrimp, a blue dwarf banded shrimp that lives in this little hole here. Almost never see him, but he's really cool. He's only about an inch or so long, bright blue body with sort of red and yellow coloration, stripes on the body, but unfortunately don't see him very often. And that originally, this tank was set up to be kind of a softy tank with lots of invertebrates and stuff, and so there are some sexy shrimp in here somewhere. I need to get some more. I wanted like 10 of them so that you can always see a bunch on display, but I think I've only got about 3, so keep meaning to buy some more. Also want to get some things like pumpkin crabs, some feather duster worms, maybe a tube anemone. Also really want the the crabs that live in the anemones. They're kind of porcelain crabs. Meant to get, would like to add some of those at some point. But yeah, for now it's actually a year old, pretty much to the month. This tank, it's doing fine. I don't do much maintenance on it. A water change every now and again. The filtration in this tank's really simple. It's just some filter floss here, which I change about once a week, and then the water flows through this biomedia, which is originally from my other tank, so it's probably, I don't know, 3 years old, something like that. Then it passes under that baffle there, and it basically just comes through here where the heater is, and this Eheim heater annoyingly broke yesterday, so I've just replaced it with one from Pets at Home, and that's it really. The return is here, that obviously pushes water back into the tank here, and the auto top up is a Reef float. This is the I think it's called the ATU4. So this has a sensor on the outside of the tank, so there's nothing inside the tank at all, and on a small sort of sump like this, that is obviously really beneficial. And obviously I said as well that on this tank I just dose some nitrates to keep those high, and I just use a DD doser for that, or a Komoa doser. They're basically the same thing. Occasionally I dose some Chaeto Grow here. So the macroalgae, obviously they consume a lot of nutrients and macro and micronutrients, so I replace those with the Chaeto Grow. So I think that's pretty much all there is to say about this tank. It's super easy to take care of. If you wanted a simple low maintenance aquarium, you could go for a sort of softy tank like this with macroalgae, which obviously keep your nutrients relatively low. All I really do is clean the glass, feed the fish, do a water change maybe once a month, but probably it's actually longer than what I realize in between water changes, and that's pretty much it. I don't really ever test this tank. I will do maybe every couple of months or so, but it's not a priority. If I sort of see things looking a bit sad, maybe I might do some testing, but generally it just kind of takes care of itself, honestly. One thing I've noticed is that this black background gets some kind of like white film on it, but it's kind of hard, so it's hard, you can't like scrape it off very easily. I'm worried I'm going to damage the back, so I've kind of just left it for now, but I do want to get that off, so I might take I'll see whether I can figure out a way to get that off. But yeah, otherwise this tank is pretty simple, and I really enjoy looking at it. As I say, I want to add some more invertebrates in the new year, to make it a bit more interesting, a bit more life in there besides just the clowns, because I can't really add any more fish because they're so aggressive. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll leave the video there and see you guys on the next one.